Okay, so we're actually very nearly done with the entirety of MySims. All we have left to do is to do this rather long essence hunt, and then just do all of the tasks for both Professor Nova and Dr. F. We already have some of the essences that we need. We've got enough soccer balls. That's about the only one that we have enough of. But most of the essences are in one single location in the game. So that's why I decided to just gather the first tasks of both Dr. F and Professor Nova. Just to save time, because otherwise it's going back and forth and it just gets dull. But oh well. I do believe we also have might have enough tyres, but not 100% sure. What else have we got? I think it's pretty much just one location. Now I have to say, I think I was kind of just like, I've forgotten what essences I need. But don't you worry, we are about to be heading off to the wonderful junkyard, which is where we got the globe for Trevor. And the junkyard is where you will find almost every single essence that you need for Dr. F and Professor Nova. Which is very helpful, I have to say. And it's probably because the characters are so similar that the essences are just put in this one location. So this pretty much marks the last area of Belbridge that we need to explore. Because even though we have already been into the junkyard before, we haven't explored all of it. We were just in the front bit. There is a back bit and a cave in here. Most of the essences that are required are in this back bit, which it can take a while to get everything, let's put it that way. Not nearly as bad as when I needed the Tim dolls. But enough that you're going to be here for quite a while. Because you need aliens, rockets, and also stars, which only appear in this area. Also, I do believe you need pencils, which you find in the front bit of the area. And also from book parties, for some bizarre reason, it just happens. Anyway, now let's go into this cave and get our pretty much the last new essences we will be getting for the entire game, pretty much. Because, as I said before, I'm not getting like the amethyst and garnet essences because they don't serve any purpose other than looking pretty and giving you kind of bonuses in their cute, or in their respective interest tree. So yeah, we have metal trees that you oil instead of water. Obviously this is not physically possible. Then again, we have trees that drop knights and rooks and pawns and so on and so forth. So metal trees dropping robots and springs and gears is hardly surprising. Now, one really annoying bit of this little plantation is that to get certain essences that you need, you will have to melt down these trees to get the metal essences. So there's a lot of and if I recall correctly, you need to melt down about 3 trees or something. I think you need about 50. I can't quite remember the exact essence total. But you will need to melt down trees. It takes a while because you need a lot of essences. Actually, it might be about 50 metals. So so it's 50 metals. So you've got to melt down 5 of the metal trees, which is really irritating. And yeah, so after spending quite a long time in that cave sorting things out, that's pretty much every bit of Bellbridge covered, other than the little bit up where there's a little loop bit above where like Shirley and Ginny and Trevor are. We went up to get one of the trees that's there, but we didn't go any further than that. And the last essence that we need to grab on our journey is the tiny shark, returned to this wonderfully elusive essence that is incredibly irritating and probably needs to suffer a horrifying death for being so annoying to collect. Being a bit evil to the tiny shark, but anything that doesn't want to turn up in reasonable time will always kind of be insulted in my book in video games. It's just, no, don't make me wait for you to turn up. Just come quickly and nicely, and then it'll all be fine. Thankfully, you only need 15 of them, so you can pretty much just... Well, it still takes at least 8 pulls. More than that, because tiny sharks don't turn up consecutively. It's the same with all of them. They alternate around, which is irritating, but not much can be done about it. Anyway, first of all we're going to do Professor Nova's tasks, because we moved her in before Dr. F, so I think it's only fair that we move her in first. So her profile is Professor Nova has always loved the stars. Surely there's more to their power than can be explained by simple science. That's why Professor Nova always reads her horoscope. Just the other day it said, expect the unexpected in the workplace when your natural obsession with the power of the stars causes you to lose your university position. And that's exactly what happened. The rest read, a new observatory ensures first contact with the aliens without distracting your students. Watch out for Pisces. So yeah, she's an astronomer slash astrologer slash former professor. Because she was dismissed. Even though she keeps her title, which is really odd. Now, this is a telescope. It's a slightly complicated build. And once again, you're probably best off kind of painting as you go along, so that you don't kind of get stuck in the building bits. Also, I'm pretty sure I did a very similar design when I built the telescope for Professor Nova in my first town. It just works having a largely metallic telescope with the stars kind of just accenting the rest of it. It's quite a cool design. Professor Nova's interests are geeky and studious, and she hates fun. Because hating fun is always a wonderful thing. She's the only commercial sim who does not appear in MySims Party DS. And at one point, I do believe in... Yes, the third task that she will ask of you, she says, "Oh no, the Z documents will be on any minute. I'm going to miss my favourite show." And that's clearly a reference to the X-Files, which is rather humorous little pop culture reference. She is also the only female geeky commercial sim, unless you count Alexa Lexington, who's only in MySims PC. Although I do believe she turns up in MySims Kingdom. Also, she wears her signature constellation dress, except with a green necktie. With or without a green necktie. In MySims Party, MySims Racing, and so she has the same outfit in MySims Party and MySims Racing, and she wears it under her apron in MySims Agents, but she has a green necktie in that game instead of the yellow one, I believe it is. Because she's kinda crazy. Now, the whole kind of Nova thing is obviously stars go supernova when they explode. But also Nova it basically means like new, so innovative and thinking outside the box kind of thing. And that's pretty much how Professor Nova thinks all the time. So it's a clever little name. Certainly, probably cleverer than Dr. F. Now I have to say that Professor Nova is funny, because especially some of the things that she says. I'll go through some of them. Star Level 4, she says, "I never met an alien I didn't like. Of course, I haven't met an alien yet, but when I do, I'm really going to like him." Impressive. Also, the stars really do hold powers. Why, just the other day, my horoscope said, "Be careful around Aquarius," and then I fell into the pond. Coincidence? I think not. And then also, it was so sad when I lost my university position. You know what they said? Too eccentric in her ideas. What does that even mean? Means you're a crazy nut job, Professor Nova. So sorry to come across as harsh, but it's the truth. At Star Level 5, she says, "As Mr. Believe Man says, the truth is in the stars. Also, why don't you take a look through the telescope? You never know what you might see." And finally, don't tell anyone, but Orion's my boyfriend. Teehee. So, Professor Nova's boyfriend is a constellation, which is slightly terrifying, but there have been people who have married inanimate objects before, and I wouldn't be surprised if someone has married Orion. It's the type of thing that some people do. Odd as it seems, but they do it. But I will say, whenever I look at the stars, the one that I always look for is Orion, because it's the one that I am most likely to be able to spot. Because the rest of them, I just don't remember the shape. But Orion's kind of got a very obvious shape with the belt, Orion's belt, which is generally the most easy thing to spot in the sky. But also I do love the stars. They're really, really beautiful to look at. And I still love that I'm a Capricorn. Because who doesn't love being born under a goat fish thing? It's just awesome. Now, I'm not quite sure what constellations she has on the floor there. That probably would have been something useful to look at, considering we are building stuff for her. But yeah, there was the Z documents line that I completely just sped over because nobody... I've mentioned it now, so it's done. Right. Now, I believe that one of the I think one of the things that's on her floor is Cassiopeia, which isn't a constellation. Don't think she actually has any constellations on her floor, even though they look like constellations. Oh no, Cassiopeia is a constellation, I'm crazy. Although I might be slightly wrong in that. Yeah, I think I'm incorrect in that one. Although we'll double check when we get into back into Professor Nova's place. But yeah, most of the constellations don't really look like what they're named after. Apart from really Orion, who does look like an archer. Because Leo kind of looks like a lying down lion, and you could kind of see Ursa Major as a bear, but it's difficult to get them correct, really. Anyway, now that we are actually going back to Professor Nova's, we might actually be able to get to the bottom of what the constellations on her floor are, or whether they are just complete and utter nonsense. Because I think they are actually just nonsense constellations and not actually proper designs. But I could be wrong on that. Let's have a look. Well, okay, one of them is the one with the square and the line coming off of it. That's got a resemblance to Libra and also Ursa Minor. So it's probably closest to Libra, but it's not completely accurate. The triangle one, is, I think, Leo Minor. At least you can make it Leo Minor. And then the Pentagon. There isn't really a pentagonal constellation like that. Although you have got a pentagon at the end of Pisces. So I guess they have some basis in actual constellations, but they don't look specifically like any. I think it would have been awesome if they had made them like actual constellations, because that would have brought everything together and just made it very clever, but then again it probably would have gone completely unnoticed, and that hard work would have been for naught. Then again, there are games out there where things don't get discovered for like 10 years, 20 years, and just, it's amazing what people find out after a game has been out for so long. I mean, if I recall correctly, people didn't find like a map of Gotham City in Batman Arkham Asylum until like a number of years after release, literally just before, I think it was just before Batman Arkham City was announced, or kind of just afterwards, which is pretty impressive. And I believe also there's at least one game where people, like, the creators have said there's still something that people haven't found out yet. Which is rather bizarre. Well, not bizarre, but amazing that there's still stuff that people haven't found out yet. No, it really does show you sort of how much detail some game creators put into their games. Also, I hope she likes this arcade machine, because a lot of effort has been put into making it. Apart from the fact that the rockets are the wrong way around, but who cares? We don't need to put rockets on the right way. All they need to do is just kind of be pointing downwards, and then they're fine. The windows don't need to be pointing forwards. But yeah, that's everything. All the tasks done for Professor Nova, so all that we will have left is Dr. F, and just tying up the last few bits and pieces, and then we are done! So, yeah, can't believe I've quite made it this far through this playthrough. Considering I was so concerned about not being able to finish it. Well, I wasn't never concerned about not being able to finish it, but I was concerned that it was going to be kind of terribly boring and mundane, and I think I've done surprisingly well, all things considered. And yes, that is Professor Nova's thing done. Oh, I forgot to mention the other square-like constellation, but I honestly do not know what that would be. There are too many constellations with that shape in them that it just wouldn't work. So, now that we've done that, let's go and get to work on Dr. S tasks, and then we shall be done! Yes! Haha!